Hi, everybody. This is Jessica Mashad, Professional Coordinator with Market America and Shop.com. I wanted to take a second today to, or actually maybe a little bit more than a second, to take a quick tour through our back office, or what we as partners commonly call unfranchise.com. So just to get to, actually this is me, for those of you who don't know me. I think many of you probably know April, and these are some of our other partners. I think many of you probably know Sarah and Emily. This is April's sister, Justine. Other partners, Christine, Kim, and Valerie. So since a lot of our partners will be listening to this call, just so you have a quick little visual of who we are. So the way we get into the back office is the first thing we want to do is make sure we log on to our shop.com site. You've already listened to the webinar where we talk about how to be sure you're getting paid to shop, but you want to make sure you're logged into shop.com so that it says your name as the welcome. So welcome, Jessica. You are the shop consultant of Jessica Mashad, and you want to make sure you can see your cash back. Once you do that, the company is going to notice that you are a partner and put up this little icon up here for unfranchise.com that you can click, and it's going to take you right to unfranchise.com. If you don't want to go through the shop.com site first, you can just type in the URL www.unfranchise.com. Now, I just happen to have been on my back office, which is why it's not asking me for a sign-in, but normally you would get an area where you put in your email or your 6-digit rep or 7-digit rep ID number and your password. I always recommend to my partners that they make sure they get the rep ID and password of each of their partners, because as we'll go through some of the items that might be time sensitive, sometimes if a partner is not available, it's very helpful for their senior partners to help them get a form in. So it's just a good idea to have that information. There's really nothing on here that's confidential, so I wouldn't worry about handing your partner that. So taking a look at the back office, I'm just going to kind of cruise you through some of the major stuff and also want to look at the reports. So quite quickly, when you first become a partner, you'll get your unfranchise.com site, and you're going to want to click up here where it says Edit Dashboard. All these items are widgets, and you can move them about. You can also add different items down here if you'd like. So I like having my BV and my IBV bars up here so that when I log onto the site, immediately I can see them. I also find it's helpful to see the purge warning, which gives me a notification of any BV that might be lost due to a Form 1000, which I'll show you. And this also shows me whose annual renewals are due and upcoming. So once you've decided you have everything in the positions that you like it, and just to move things, you just kind of move it like that. You just click that icon. So once you're happy with it, just kind of cruising through what you see on the homepage, you have an area here for alerts. These are obviously the most important things you want to look at first. Something that's an auto pass-through order, this would be if someone went through your website and placed an order. So for example, if I click that, I believe this is already an order that I processed, but if I click that, it's going to take me right to the actual order and showing me the order. So this is telling me that Sandra Horgan went on my website yesterday and placed this order for product, okay? You might also see something there that says pending order. So for those of you with iTransact, which I have, but when you have pending order, that means you need to click on it to actually process the order. But sometimes if your client uses cashback, it might go through as an auto pass-through order even if you have iTransact. It'll also identify if you have retail profit being added to your account. So you can click that. So here I clicked on that and it said I recently had a customer who paid for a portion with their cash back. So that's been credited to my account. And if I had a product, do a reorder. This identifies some new products, so we can see here that there's adult new OPC chews, and we can obviously see products that are on sale. We can order tickets for the next major event. And especially if you're a new partner, this is a great thing to sort of look through. This kind of gets you up to date on things that have been going on in the company within the last month. And they also hold some things that are important. A lot of these things also come through in the newsletters that we get. So just cruising through the dashboard real quick, we can see here I am using English as the language, but I could change the language if I wanted to Mandarin or to Spanish. I can work with my account settings. And this says that I am logged in. I'm incorporated, which is why it has my incorporation name. It also shows here that I have no items in my shopping cart because I'm not in the middle of placing an order. If I was placing an order, items would be going up to the shopping cart. So that's the home screen. So just kind of cruising through here. And again, I'm not going to go through everything, but I am going to go through the major ones. So ordering products, I think most of you probably know how to do this already. But ordering products, you can click right on items. You can type in the search bar what you're looking for, and you can process and just place orders. So I could click on OPC, say that I want it. I can add it to cart or add it to transfer buying. I can go up here. I can view the cart if I want to make a change. I can click on checkout if I'm ready to go. I can also get more information about the product here. I can decide to ship it to myself. I can ship it to another address, or I can even select a preferred customer. Now, sometimes I do process an order for a preferred customer, and I do ship it directly to them. Perhaps if there's someone who just doesn't want to shop online for some reason, and they want to mail me a check. So then I would go in and I would click the person's name, and then it would auto-populate with their address, which is very handy. You can also see over here it's totaling the BV. It's showing me the retail price that I can sell the product for and what my distributor cost would be. I can hit continue, and it will keep processing this order. Here is where we're going to assign BV. So I could assign BV to somebody in depth of my business. So I can type in their ID number right here, assign it in depth of them. Let's say that they're 002, and put my BV amount there. If there's IBV, that would show up here. I can hit continue. If that is a person who is not on transfer buying, I would not be able to assign my BV there, and there would be an alert that comes up that says distributor not on transfer buying. If I had any more balance on my account, I could use the credit here. I'd actually used mine this morning when I placed an order. This is great. So you can always ask for your credit on account at any point, but I think most of us like to keep the credit here and just, use it for our next order so that we're not, using our own money to place orders. But obviously we can put in our credit card information, and then we can place our order, which I'm not going to do. So clicking back on the home button, if I go to order tracking, I can track any order that's here. If I click invoice, let's say, I can actually click and track something via UPS and actually see when something was delivered, which is very helpful. If I go back to ordering, transfer buying, this is an online form that we do via the back office. So if you go to your transfer buying form, now your transfer buying, as many of you guys know, I call it rent. It's sort of the monthly requirement that we have. But we have a quarterly requirement of 150 BV. Transfer buying just automates it so that we can get it regularly every month, so that many of us have busy lives and we can remember. The benefit of being on transfer buy, as I noted before, is that your sponsor is able to place BV in your business. So that's a huge perk. I would not be on transfer buy. So on transfer buy, you'll notice here your Q date. This is your actual start date with the company. Your transfer buy pull date is based on that start date. So for example, if you had a mortgage and it was due the first of the month, this would be my first of the month, the 14th. So when they're going to pull my credit card for what I call my rent, my transfer buy, they pull it 2 weeks prior to my Q date so that there's time in case my credit card declines, or, for example, it's been happening to me a lot. I keep having to cancel my credit card because it keeps getting stolen. So sometimes if you forget to update your new credit card, or for some reason you have an issue with your checking account, you'll get a notification that your transfer buying didn't go through. And this is great because you can go in and you have time to make a change. So this says my pull week is the 4th Tuesday. So if you notice here, the Q date is between 8th and the 14th. You have the 4th Tuesday. You never want to change this date, okay? This will stay the same forever. A great feature with transfer buying is that if we place more than what our requirement is, so our requirements if we are a new partner are 50 BV, 10 IBV, and UFMS. Once we become a coordinator, earn a $300 check in either the BV or the IBV. In BV, it bumps from 50 to 100. In IBV, it bumps from 10 to 20. And then when we go through the pay cycle and become an executive coordinator, the BV goes from 100 to 150, and IBV goes from 20 to 30, and then never goes up again. So the most it would ever be is 150 BV, 30 IBV, and UFMS. But let's say you want to place an order and your order is 153 BV or 35 IBV. This tells you where in depth that additional BV will go. So my additional BV goes in someone I have personally sponsored who is in depth in my business, so that additional BV now rolls up to help everybody on my team, which is brilliant. So to do your transfer buying, you can just plug in your orders. You can search the way you normally do. I always recommend if someone's looking for IBV products, you just type in IBV, bam, it's right there for you. You can just figure out which IBV products you want, and you can put in your orders. You can change this every month. You don't have to keep the same orders every month. So I think sometimes it's good to have a combination of personal use maybe and the items that you retail, especially if you're new. But I definitely recommend that you make those changes perhaps when you get your package, or at minimum do it the Friday before the Tuesday that it's going to pull on your credit card, because on that Friday is when it sets. So you can see here that I have 153.5 BV, so I've covered my 150 BV requirement, and 34.25 IBV, so I've covered my 30 IBV requirement. This is where you put in your credit card and checking information. And most importantly, if you've made a change, you want to click here and click Submit Order. It's not going to actually process an order, but it is going to set it and act like I have submitted the change. I think sometimes people get scared to hit Submit, but don't, because if you don't do that, it won't submit. This is the area where you order your custom cocktail. So play around with that. That way you can get customized vitamin for yourself in a 30 or 90-day supply. MA promotional items, this is the area where you can get cups and the little caps for the isotonic cups and stuff like that. This goes to a third party. Your My List, your shopping advisor, these are all the things that you need to spend time filling out, especially as you're a new partner. So just click on that and follow the prompts to go through that. That's the shopping advisor kind of shows you how to save money by buying the products that you're already using elsewhere. It's a great tool to do, especially if you're setting up your transfer buying for the first time, so you can see how you can transfer your buying habits and not really have transfer buying feel like it's an expense, because it really shouldn't. It's, we can put shampoo and laundry detergent and vitamins and makeup and moisturizers, all that can go on your transfer buying. So it really should be about transferring your buying habits, hence the name. Under My Distributorship, this is all your logistics. So under My Account, this is where you can manage your credit card information and add new credit cards. So you just kind of enter in the information and it's all right there. You can have your checking account if you're going to do a checking account. You can change your password, your profile. Once you're activated and earning commissions, this is where you put in the information for direct deposit. This tells you your credit on account. If you ordered a product and it wasn't in stock, you might get a voucher, which you can use, and this is where that would be. Email notifications are important. You want to make sure that you're getting emails for things like your Form 1000 and other items, so make sure your email is noted for that. Power profiles, this is an important thing to do. Make sure you put in your description of who you are, so that on www.powerprofiles.com people can discover you and learn about who you are as a partner. And then you want to make sure on your auto renewals that you are opted in, so that when your renewal date comes up, you can automatically renew and not have to requalify and restart your business. Under My Services, this is where you would go in and make any changes to your website that you might want to do. This is also where you would go in and edit or change a mini website that you have. So for example, this is if I wanted to go in and customize the mini website that looks like this. I can go in here and change around items. I can move products, and all that can be done right from the back office. And to do all that, note there is another webinar on literally doing all that internet stuff, so definitely check that out. Domains, if you wanted to purchase a domain name, kind of cruising through here. Insurance, this is a great thing to check out Market America's Benefit Association to get liability insurance, or even if you wanted dental and health insurance. iTransact, for those of you that have iTransact for your credit cards. I think sometimes when you're a new partner, the auto pass-through is great. If you're a health professional, the auto pass-through is great because then the orders just come on your site and the company processes them immediately. But I think once you're activated and you actually have a retail base, it's great to have iTransact because it allows you to have what I call the cha-ching machine. So that allows me to be at a TLS class and actually take somebody's credit card, or at a Motives event and take somebody's credit card, because I can actually have the little card that swipes it on my phone. I can enter in the information on my phone, and most importantly, it allows me to decide where I want to assign the BV from that order in real time, so it doesn't go through what we call the auto placement, which I'll show you in a second. Um, if you haven't already registered for the Market America credit card, I suggest you do that. It's a Barclays credit card. They're great. I have one for personal and for business. The reason why it's so great to have the Market America card is that we get 1% IBV. So if for some reason I can't purchase something online or don't want to purchase something online, I make sure I'm getting paid towards my shopping annuity one way or another, and I get IBV. Online forms. So this is an important area. So on online forms, the Form 1000 is the quarterly report we need to submit to the company that verifies that we've sold at least $200 worth of product to at least 2 people. Now you can see that my quarter just started 2 days ago, January 17th. So I used to have orders that were sitting here, but it just crossed over. If a client goes through your website and places an order, it will auto-populate here, and you can just click, and put the information there, sign the form to your 001, and click Assign Selected. It'll happen right away, and then you're just going to submit the form. So I would need to note, and also what's kind of great is once you hit $200 between 2 people, the company will automatically process your Form 1000. So I generally get way more than those orders in a quarter, so it processes automatically. So the order that you saw that just went through, I go back to order tracking, it happened on the 16th, so it would have shown up yesterday, but it's gone today on the 18th because I'm in the new quarter. These are forms you fill out when you're registered. The tax form, this is great. So if you are an activated distributor, this is where you'll get your 1099 for tax purposes. They should be posting this pretty much by the end of January. So you just come here, click on it, it will open it up, and you can print it out. We only get a 1099 for our commission. You don't get a 1099 for retail profit. Nutrimetrics, if you are a Nutrimetrics partner, this is where you would get Nutrimetrics information and edit your website. That would be the same for Motives and for the Web Center and for TLS and for Capital Resources. So those are all specific sections on those divisions. BV and IBV placement, this is the auto placement. So this is if someone goes on your website and places an order and you do not have iTransact, where will that BV go? So most people place the BV first in your own personal 002 and your 003, because as you'll see, there are 2 options about where to place it. So kind of nice to rotate it back and forth. So I have it rotating back and forth between one of my people I personally sponsored, the lowest personally sponsored person I have. So when someone goes on my website, they get the BV and it rolls up. That will also happen with IBV. The other kind of cool thing you can see here is the IBV values. So you can go through here and see how much IBV and whether they get gift cards for each of the partner stores that we have. Here's some information about the international program and the global expansion, as well as Conquer Entertainment. Then my customers area is the area where you would register new partners. So this would tell you if you had an open order, which I don't. If I had a customer profile, if I click here and I wanted to create a new preferred customer, I would do this. So for example, when I do my Facebook detox groups, as soon as somebody registered for that, if they're not connected to another partner, I would be sure to register them here so that when they go online to order products, that they are immediately connected to me. This is where you would see nutraphysicals that your partners would have, or your clients would have taken. This is where you can manage your customers' auto ships. So you could click on a customer and then check on the dates and the products for your customers' auto ships. Sales receipt entry is where, if for example, you have a client that ordered a product, but they didn't order it through your website, you can actually go in here and place an order. So for example, I have a client that just ordered the OPC3 shoes. So I can go in here, click her name. I can hopefully just type in OPC shoes. OPC3 choose maybe? OPC3, let's see what happens. OPC, oh, they're not there yet. Okay, so let's just say I'll say that she got the 30-day bottle. I can just add this and I can hit continue. It's actually not going to place an order, but it is going to make me a receipt. So I can hit continue. Since it's not actually the product that she ordered, I'm not going to email it to her, but I could. But what I will do is submit it to my Form 1000 so that you can see how this is done. I hit I agree, and I submit it. And now if I go back to my Form 1000, my distributorship online forms Form 1000, you'll see that that order for Lori Albanese is there. So that's how we would fill out your Form 1000 if we needed to create some receipts for you, because you might have delivered product to somebody instead of them ordering online through your website. Also in the My Customer area is people that would have maybe easy registered through your site. They show you the different letters that will be emailed to your easy registration customers, and then some stuff with NPOs and skincare. Under My Organization, actually I'm going to come back to this. Under downloads, you have the ability to look at a variety of different audios that you can download for free. These are great. So when you're a new partner, this is almost the first place I would go, which is to download. So the most recent ones are the ones that came from the most recent convention, and that's highly recommended. And then also what's great is to go back to general or goals or some of these very specific ones. So you can listen to some of the key people: Jim Winkler, Gary Rogers, J.R. Reidinger, Dennis Franks, and listen to some of the key people training. And again, those are all for free. Under support materials, this is another great area to check out. You'll see here, this is in languages, first off. But if you go here, there's different categories. So for example, if I click sales aids, CA stands for Canada. But if I scroll past Canada, because I'm not in Canada, I can have lots and lots of flyers here. So for example, if I wanted to have a flyer on the DNA miracles, it's going to open up a PDF file that I can then save and utilize. So there's like so many documents, a few hundred documents here that cover a lot of different categories. So I recommend you check them out. There's also a lot of administration stuff, and then specifically for motives. If you're Nutrimetrics, you'll see a tab in here for Nutrimetrics, and then there's also some printable forms that you might need. Under help and training, this is where you can see the meetings that are going on in your area. So obviously the career manual is here, but NMTSS, if I were trying to find a business presentation in my area, I would go here, I would select the USA as my country. I could select Connecticut, and I could select New Jersey, let's say. I was just looking at something in Pennsylvania. I can select the meetings that I want. I can select a UBP, let's say, and a local seminar. And then when I hit search, it'll show me all the different meetings that are going on in the area. You can see here that I'm showing the business plan on February 11th in Fairfield. And if I click here, it'll give you all the details about where the training is. So that's a good area to go to find out what's going on in your area. The MA events will take you to the Market America events website and give you all the different specifics about moving up seminars and Nutrimetrics and Web Center certifications and all of that. And then you can access MeetOn and go right on the MeetOn site. This is a terrific site where you get some recorded webinars that can train about a lot of different aspects of your business. I definitely suggest looking around this. For example, the Shopping Annuity Bootcamp that just happened in Puerto Rico. Gary Rogers, one of our partners, was there. They had a bunch of live webinars that were going on while they were down there, so you could tap into some of the recorded ones now. And then the MA blog, this is a great thing to make sure that you are subscribed to so that you can see all the different key content. Some of this content is great to repost. You can click Facebook and you can actually repost this information. This, for example, is something that I know I posted on my page the other day because it's so exciting to show that as a company we have 73% growth. So the other big thing I wanted to show you guys is the My Organization part. So this is where if you were registering a new partner, you would go to the sign up wizard and you would kind of click here and start the sign up process. If you were registering a partner who was already a preferred customer, you would be able to just scroll down from their name, I believe. Maybe not. But you can type in their information there. Just getting out of this for a second. Invite to partner now. This is where I could actually send the information this is where I meant, sorry, where I could say, let's say Lori Albanese is going to become a partner, I could actually send her an invite and she can fill out the first page of the registration, and then I would get an alert that says, you know, pending registration, ready to go, waiting for placement. So this would show me if somebody was, you know, if I clicked here, there'd be a scroll down and you'd see Lori Albanese's name. So the other big thing is reports. So just to sort of take you through reports, some of the simple ones first. So preferred customers. So this is kind of nice, especially around tax time, that you can go in here and by all these different categories, look at reports by your customers. So without going through each one, I suggest you play around with this if this is something that's of interest to you, because you can look at sales by customer, by product, you can export a contact list, etc. So let's look for a second at reports for our business. So reports management is where you start. There is actually a description here that takes you through every report. I don't know if I'm going to take you through absolutely every single one, but I'll take you through all the main ones. So one of the most important things to note is that you can see the sales volume for people who are part of your team who are in depth of you. So I'm going to put in the ID number for Renee Berry. She's allowing me to put her information in. I'm putting her 001 and hitting Rep ID. So when you look at sales volume, it's showing you the week start and the week end date. Leg 1 is always referring to your left side of your organization. So if you picture visually that, you know, that's the rectangle for your 001, and then your 002 is here, and your 003 is here. Leg 1 is your 002. Leg 2 is your 003. Okay, so left side, right side. So this shows that the week of November 22nd through 28th, her team created 62 BV on the left and 108 on the right, and then this is how it accrued. So you can start to see the BV accruing week to week to week. So as we know by the BV rules, once this hits 1,200 BV on the left, Renee would earn a $300 check, okay? So this is the cycling. So when we talk as your senior partners to say how long is it taking you to cycle to go from 0 to 5,000, this is how you can measure the weeks. And what we want to see is you to know that time frame, because obviously the goal is to compress. So for example, to get to 3,000 BV a month, $3,000 a month, which would be senior executive coordinator, that would mean you're going from 0 to 5,000 every 2 weeks, right? Because if you went from 0 to 5,000 in 2 weeks, you would earn $1,500. So if you did it twice a month, you would earn 3,000. If you wanted to go from 0, if you wanted to make $1,500 a month, you'd want to go from 0 to 5,000 in a 4-week pay cycle. So this is where you can see that, okay? So keeping Renee's ID number, I can look at commission history, which I won't show just because that's, you know, kind of private. But once you're activated, your commission will show there. Detailed sales, this is an important report. An important report. So for example, just going back to sales volume for a second, let's say this is the week that Renee went over 5,000 to 5,000, okay? If she was going over 5,000 to 5,000, there's a few things that we'd want to do on that Friday to make sure that it was real, that BV was real. The first thing we would do is print out this page that you had it for your records. The second thing we do is note the date that her cycle started. So again, we're pretending that on the Friday the 16th, this was 5,000 to 5,000. So let's say this said 11/22, which it does, and let's say that was the beginning of the cycle. We would then go to detailed sales, because detailed sales is a more accurate report. And we would put in her ID number there, and we would put in November 22nd here, because what we're looking at is the cycle. So we're saying that between November 22nd and today, let's look at all the orders that came through. We also want to increase our levels to 999, which is the highest number, and hit View Report. Now this is showing me all the BV that's on her left. It's showing me who is the paying name. So these are some of Renee's customers that they placed BV. It went into Renee's 002, and this was the amount. This shows Doctor Care Practice. They placed BV, and it went into their business. And you can see the total is 886 on the left and 1616 on the right. But obviously, we're trying to pretend it says 5,000 and 5,000. So this is a good example of it being correct. And normally time it's the same, but you want to make sure you print this as a double check, okay? So you'll see all the orders that are there. If you go to distributor qualification, and I'm putting in her BV again, her ID number again, You can see unfranchised owner. You can see, you know, the different, you know, all the key information for her as a partner. If I go to graphic organization, and again, I'm just doing this with Renee because I want you to see that you can see it for partners in depth. This shows you a graphic of what your organization looks like. So it shows you different partners, it shows you different pin levels that they are, and you can click on them and get information about them. Personal volume. Personal volume, here I'll show you on mine for this. So personal volume shows you BV that, actually this is a sort of a good thing. When I was recording this webinar the other day, I noticed a quick error, which was that when I was looking at my personal volume, this is your transfer buying, your auto shipped. So I noticed that there were a bunch of 30s here that shouldn't be here. And what I discovered was that I had a web center that was auto placing to a distributor who was not on transfer buying anymore. So they defaulted to my 001. So I was able to call Market America and change that so that now this 30 BV is going into another distributor's center. Okay, so this should always be kind of revealing what you have in your transfer buying. So you always want to make sure this is up to date every month. Quarterly purge report. So quarterly purge report is showing you whose Form 1000s are due. So they just changed the way this form looks. So I'm going to, you know, kind of use it the way it is right now. But for example, if I put in the date of this Friday, January 26th, which is the date that I'd want to know whose Form 1000s are due, so I can work with my team to make sure they get their forms done, I would change this to 999, and I would click View Report. Now, if it's a long report, you might get something that says go to the repository, in which case you go to Reports and you go to Repository. So this is going to show me different distributors, their ID, and that how much BV could be lost if they don't get their Form 1000 in on time. Now, for example, Nicole has a lot of BV here because I assign a lot of my BV to Nicole. So it's important for me to make sure Nicole gets her Form 1000 done by this Friday, or that BV will be lost to the team. So that's super, super important. Okay, but you'll see it'll say left or right leg, and then we can just sort of work with our team to make sure those forms get done. I always like to check my quarterly BV report or quarterly purge warning report on a Wednesday, and I like to generally do it for 2 weeks out so that I can be on top of my partners getting that report done. Network sales volume is a great report. Again, I'm just going to use Renee's because it's a little shorter than mine, that shows people in your network and their total BV. So if you're someone who is trying to bonus, this is a quick report to look to see who might be close to 5,000 and 5,000, and then you could go in, copy their ID number, go to sales volume, and detail sales to see if their BV is real. Because this report is not updated that frequently, so if someone's gone over 5,000 to 5,000 on a Friday, it still might show the BV over 5,000 for a week or so after. But it might give you a pause to go back and take a look and then check information more detailed. So if someone was going over 5,000 and 5,000, just to get back to what I was saying before, and they're trying to bonus with 2 people, what you'd want to make sure you do is print out your sales volume report, your detailed sales volume report from the date, like I said before, of the last time you went through the cycle, so that you see all the orders that happened during the, let's say, 4 weeks it took you to go from 0 to 5,000. And you'd want to print out the purge report that showed you who was purging. Now, for example, if I go back to the quarterly purge report, if it says, let's say it says Nicole is going to purge on Friday and she doesn't get her Form 1000 done, then I would need to deduct that amount of BV from my sales volume, because we can only get paid on business volume that's actually moved to an end consumer. And the Form 1000 verifies that we've actually done that. So it's one of the great ways that our company keeps us legal. So it's really not something to complain about, but it's something to make sure that you get done. But you want to make sure you subtract that BV so that you're not counting it if they didn't actually get the Form 1000 done. If I'm bonusing with somebody, I would print out those same 3 forms for the person on my left and the same 3 forms for the person on my right. If you're a new partner and it's one of the first time, or if you're a new, let's say you're just hitting Master Coordinator for the first time, which is when you get that $600 bonus check, I would make sure that you connect with your senior partner to help you make sure you do everything properly, to do all your checks and balances to make sure that you bonus properly, okay? That's just sort of a top-line view of it. So also you'll see here IBV qualification. So this will take you through let's see. Okay, so this will take you through your quarter. This is showing all the different orders that went in from my site. This is saying whether I've met. Sometimes this doesn't get updated right away because I know I did meet it. Oh, actually, this is saying for this quarter because my quarter just started. And if I've met personal, different requirements. So some I've met, some I haven't met. And then if you go to the shopping annuity bonus pool, this is another good thing to look at to see, where you've met. So this all restarted. So obviously I haven't generated all this within this cycle of January 1st through March 31st, but you want to take a look at that as well. And those are pretty much the reports. I definitely recommend to go back through with someone as your partner to double check them, but I just wanted to kind of give you a top line view. I hope that you found this helpful. I know I'm talking fast, but there's a lot of information on this page, but I hope you